Okay. Sorry. Go on, Vincent. You were going
Yeah.
to challenge my definition. By the way,
No, no,
I'm
no, no,
not.
no. I
Not.
just want to add something on it. Sorry,
Go on.
sorry, guys. My name is Vincent. I'm sorry for joining late. This is a very, very interesting area for me, and I'm happy to be here. Nice to meet you all virtually. So, when talking about artificial intelligence, I think a key component is to always try to mention the human part of it, because
Hmm.
what we're trying to do with artificial intelligence, what it has been is bringing human level of intelligence to machines.
Hmm.
That's it fundamentally. So you're trying to look at what is human intelligence, for example, the things that we can do, the things that we
Hmm.
can, how we can smell, how we can see, how we can think, how we can analyze things, bringing all of that intelligence. And that's why it's artificial, because it is from human now to something that is not living. So you are now creating that intelligence into a machine. So that is the core of it. So in definitions, it's always good to be able to bring that out. Yeah.
Okay, so you're supporting my definition. I thought you were
Yes.
challenging it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
No, I'm
Yeah, yeah, I
supporting.
agree. I agree. The whole idea is to be able to do what humans are normally supposed to be doing, and that's
Yeah.
kind of the core of it. Voice AI, and I really threw this to in because I really wanted people, BAs in particular, to think about the capabilities that exist in AI. And I think we don't do it enough as BAs. We only ever look at large language models, chat GPT, right?
Hmm.
We never look at, okay, how about voice? Because that's transforming the world. And I think every organization is going to be using voice very, 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 very soon, and absolutely critical. Computer vision, that's been around for a long time. I was talking with my team the other day, and we want to start using, and we
I
had been
think we
doing this
lost
for a
him
while.
again.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
We can.
All right. Cool.
now we can.
Thank you. So I was talking to my team the other day, and we want to be able to use AI to do exam invigilation, right? How do we do that? We need computer vision. We need a computer, an AI that can track human eyes, that can track human movements, and determine when somebody's cheating, when somebody's not. That's computer vision. That's an AI use case. It interprets visual information like images, videos, all that good stuff. So that's super important. But it also does documents as well. Computer vision is what we use for documents, reading handwriting, all of that stuff. So the capabilities are huge for computer vision. Generative AI, let me see what you guys said here. I don't know if I agree with your definition of generative AI. I'm not totally disagreeing, but I think the core difference between what you've said here is that with generative AI, you are creating something new that didn't exist before. Where's the definition that talked about creating something new? I can't see it here. Did you guys delete it?
I don't think
Generative AI.
we talked about that where you talked about we don't have that.
Oh,
Maybe
Mm.
that
really? That's what it is. Oh, that's why you have a duplicate. Okay, my bad. All right. So generative AI is all about creating new content that didn't exist before. What your chat GPT does right now, Grok, Claude, they create new content that did not exist before. It can help you draft report, create a new image, create a new look at patterns and create something new. That's generative AI. The computer is generating something new that didn't exist before. So I will not agree with this, and I think whatever was duplicated is what was replaced here. So I just wanted to mention that. Vincent,
Yeah, sorry.
you're working in generative AI,
That's a
so
very
go for it.
interesting area for because I'm doing a
Add to
lot
it.
of
Add
work
to
in
it.
this area. So when you
Yeah.
look at generative AI, Tolu is totally right. One thing I'm going to add on top of that is that you are creating new data, but it is actually based on something. It is based on existing patterns. It might not be existing exactly the data that you are generating, but there are some patterns that your model that you've trained understands for you to be able to generate those new data. So there would always be an exit. It doesn't do it from nothing. You can't do it from nothing. There will be something, patterns, that it will need to look at to be able, and that's where the large language model actually comes into play. Yeah.
Good point. Okay. Marjorie, question?
So just based on both of your definitions,
Yes.
you still need to provide it with some data, some sort of
Yes.
information.
Yes. So it hooks into, in today's world, it'll typically will hook into a large language model with a huge amount of data set to create something new. It needs to be large enough for it to generate really good quality new information.
Okay.
So just kind of using a data set that's closed and not vast enough might not give you the quality that you need or the accuracy that you need. So typically you get up into a large language model. But yeah, so that's generative AI, creating something new from that didn't exist before. So it's useful to kind of have that term at the back of your mind. It's a lot of the time is used interchangeably with a lot of these other terms. Large natural language processing. What did you say? Let's get some emails. No. Yep, I think I agree. Machine learning. What did you say? When computers perform tasks. Uh, uh, I think that's the same definition as AI. I think that's the same definition as AI. So the thing that I want to see here is the prediction of patterns. Okay. Okay, that's fine. Predictive analytics forecasts. Yep, that's fine. Machine learning. As long as it's not been explicitly programmed. So I'm not mad at your definition there, but here is what I'll say to add to that, your definition of machine learning is where we use AI. Machine learning is a part of AI, of course, and it uses predictions without explicitly being programmed. The machine programs itself, right? It'll study past data to predict future occurrences of future activities. So machine learning is what we tend to use to typically train data sets and then predict what would likely happen. So if you want to see, for example, you know, how many misappointments we are likely to get based on historical data, we could potentially preemptively anticipate disappointments because we can spot based on patterns and trends what happened in the past and then proactively determine what should happen so we can intervene, right? So machine learning is where the machine continuously learns and gives you outputs based on new information. So you put the algorithm in, it then begins to sort of learn itself as it gets new data. As it gets new data, it continues to learn so that you can kind of do things like predictions and intervene and stuff like that. So machine learning is a huge part of AI, and it's typically used for predictive analytics, just telling what is likely going to happen. With machine learning, it trains itself and it updates the information as new information comes in. It's a little bit more dynamic. Predictive analytics is more static. So here's the trend, here's the output. So it's important to kind of know the subtle little difference between both. But these are huge areas and they've been existing for a very long time. Okay. Somebody has a question? TSB. Who's TSB?
Yes, this is Tete.
Oh, hi. How are you? Hi, Tete. How's it going?
Good, thanks. Just a quick one. So
Yes.
I just started with an organization who with the HR team of an organization who one of the things I was told was they recently rolled out an AI chatbot to answer queries, HR queries for staff. It's when it's unable to answer it that it pushes it to the service desk. Where would that fall here?
Good question. Funny enough, myself and Visa was having that conversation right now. So chatbots have been existing for a very long time, right? Bots have been existing for years and years and years, right? So there's chatbots that are predicted that are programmed, right? So for example, one of the projects I was working on that just kind of went live a few weeks ago, the first phase worked on the chatbot using Power Virtual Agents. So we programmed the responses, right? So we say if the customer asks this, tell them this. If the customer asks this, tell them this. If the customer asks this,
with this one, they fed
yeah.
HR, they fed the policies into it.
Okay, good. So now in today's world, what we're trying to now start to do is to embed generative AI for large language models into chatbots so that the chatbot can use the conversational piece of the large language models to respond. As long as it has the information, you can program it to look at certain policies, look at certain documents, look at certain areas, certain pieces of information, knowledge articles to provide a response. So they hook up a large language model or a conversational element, right? A conversational AI piece on top of the repository in your organization so that the chatbot can respond to customer queries in a natural way. So large language models have given us the power to be able to do things like that. Large language models and generative AI have given us the power to be able to expose chatbots that can help organizations deal with a lot of queries. And if it can't, then it escalates it to a human. So to answer your question, it will be with the customer service for AI. There are lots and lots of use cases. And a lot of the time we use a combination of these. We'll talk in a bit about the difference between an AI assistant and an AI agent, right? People generally tend to miss that quite a lot. An AI agent does multiple things and uses multiple tools to provide a resolution or to provide an output. An AI assistant just uses one tool to provide an output, input, output. So using ChatGPT will be an AI assistant, or a tool that just uses ChatGPT alone will be an AI assistant. However, if you want to be able to do multiple things, now you want to create what we call an agentic workflow or an AI agent. The AI agent will utilize multiple tools to be able to create something new. We'll talk about that in the next bit. So it's a combination. Large language models, you'll need to use generative AI, and now AI, your chatbot should now be using voice. Should be able to speak to the customer and convert the text into speech. That's another element. Okay, so it's a combination. We'll talk about AI agents in a second, but yes, very much the way of the world using AI for customer services and chat bots. I don't know why we call it chat bots, because it should be more than chat. It should be chat and more. Vincent, you were going to say something.
Yeah, but you already touched on it. But I can just because there was something that used to confuse a lot of people that I've spoken with, that I just coming to learn AI. Is that when you could have like an assistant like that is open to answer questions. Let me just say chatbot. You could you could do it in a way that, okay, oh, how do I onboard myself, for example, as an example, onto this platform? You've already coded that answer. Like when someone asks this, give them this. When they ask this, give them this. And in that situation, you need to think about all the scenarios that would happen, that all the questions that someone would ask, and you would have hard coded it. And it's not going to go outside of that. It's just, okay, this is what they ask, this is what I tell them. Now, that is restrictive. You understand? But when you now put a large language model, it's not like you just take any large language model and then just put it there and it's going to work. No. The large language model is a model that is it already has a lot of different I would, for example, in English, it has a lot of words, a lot of sentences, a lot of that is already there for you, but it has created patterns in them. Now, when you now bring your own data, for example, let's say you are a company that is providing services to people. So all the data about your company, what you do, what you don't do, or even customer requests and answers and everything, you now bring it to that language model and now train that language model on your data to understand your data, to now use its patterns to create patterns for your own data. You now have your own trained language model. It is that one that you can now use and connect your chat interface to, and then it can now tap into that power. Then you don't need to programmatically tell it when it does this, when they say this, do this, when they say this, do this. So that's the
Thanks,
major,
Mr.
yeah, difference. Thanks, Tolu.
Thanks, Mr.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next topic now, and I think I hope that's kind of giving you some insight and some clarity as to the differences between all these terms that tend to be interchangeable. So here are some resources for you to go look at later. By all means, take a copy of this and save the URLs. So for enterprise AI ecosystems, right? The big organizations, Google has one, Microsoft has one, OpenAI has one, IBM has one. IBM seems to be the leading organization when it comes to AI enterprise-wide. They've got a lot of these tools, resources, and services for organizations. They've been on the AI treadmill for a very long time. So if you go onto IBM Watson and see the AI repository, the AI services, you can kind of get an idea of, okay, what they're trying to do with it. My
We've lost him again, I think.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, he needs to do a piece to the AI bots.
oh, can you guys hear me? Am I back?
Yes.
Now you're back.
All right. All right. Thank you.
I'll tell you the sacrifice piece to the AI bots.
Yes, I need to happening today. Okay, so I was talking about IBM having a huge ecosystem for AI. They want to make sure that they take the business of every organization on planet Earth. I don't think they're going to be successful. I think lots and lots of startups are going to stake their claim. When it comes to machine learning, there are machine learning tools to train AI models. So Google has one, Amazon SageMaker has one. There are lots and lots and lots of machine learning tools. Microsoft has one. Lots of organizations have one. There are lots of machine learning tools out there. You can check them out. Generative AI, OpenAI, generative AI, ChatGPT does generative AI, Grok, Cloud, Anthropic, Perplexity. There are quite a few of them, and they're not stopping. It's more and more generative AI. And I want you guys to check out Lovable. I want you guys to check out Lovable, lovable.dev. It's amazing. It's a no code tool that can do a lot of agentic workflows for you. Create your UI interface, create your database, create payments, and do a lot of stuff. For you. So check that out. Predictive analytics stuff. There's some tools out there that does a lot of predictive analytics, natural language processing, tools that do that. Chatbots, lots and lots of chatbots out there. And you can see when you look at some of these companies, they're integrating lots of different things to be able to provide a solution for organizations. Large language models, typical ones for OpenAI. I think OpenAI is way and above. There's Gemini, there's a large language model. There's there's XAI, Grok, Anthropic. They're large language models as well, and there are more. Deep research. There's a whole bunch. There's even Llama is a large language model. Llama from Meta, large language model. Yes, ma'am.
What kind of AI tool would you regard Siri and Alexa as?
They're just voice AI, but they're not interface. You don't. I wouldn't even bother talking about Siri and Alexa. You have zero inputs or output from. You have zero input to them. You can't say, "Oh, I want to use Siri to do this." No, that's Amazon's. Alexa, that's Amazon. I won't even bother with those ones. Like they probably would discontinue them. I predict, just my opinion, my humble opinion. I predict they're going to discontinue them. I heard they're not even supporting them anymore. I heard through the grapevine. I don't know. I think the days are gone. I think I think they are not supporting Alexa. I don't know about Siri. Alexa, I think the team is kind of like forget about those. That's old news as far as I'm concerned. Does anybody have any other insights about Siri, Alexa? What would you call them? Where do they fit?
Yes, I do. There is something that is called narrow AI or weak AI. It has some level of intelligence in it, but Siri and Alexa are more like voice assistants.
Yeah.
You understand? So just like Google search is also weak AI in a way. Yeah. Chess playing, we've had chess playing for a while in games as well. It's AI, but all of these are narrow or weak AI, not with the power of the Jagaban that we have now. So definitely it will fade away like Tolu said. Yeah.
So that I would say, don't worry about those ones. I mean, they never really gave us anything with it anyway. We just signed up and we just consumers. So as an AI, as an analyst, I don't even worry with it. But if you want to build something like Siri and Alexa, think voice AI and the tools that can help you do that way better than Siri and Alexa would do right now. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Adesha. Sorry, question. Yes, go for it.
No. Yeah, quick one. We're gonna get access to this Miro board, right? So we can.
You already have access to this Miro board.
So we can just sign in and
in the chat. Yeah, you already have access to the Miro board.
I mean, after the class, so I should.
Yeah. I'm not going to close it. Yeah, I'm not going to close it. It'll be.
Then the second question would be: could you just spend maybe like a minute or two on each of these? So you have natural language processor. Are you saying if I want to like do some stuff on NLP, then I can go to Monkey Learn and get stuff done there? Is that the reason for this link, or why do you have this link?
Yeah. So for me, I'm just saying to you for your further learning, right? Here are some examples of organizations who have tools like this. Some tools you can sign up and use their models. Some tools are they're more for consumer purposes only. For example, for Spacey, they have you will have to work with your developers on this one. They have models that can be used as scale for natural language processing, right? It can allow you create a library that can, if you want to add plugins and stuff like that, can do stuff. So you can kind of go on the website and kind of see what they do. Again, remember, we just looked at the different sort of distinctions between all those terms. So what I want you to think about is don't just go to ChatGPT for everything. There are lots of other tools out there that can do lots of different things, depending on what your use case is and what you're trying to achieve. Okay. And you can always, once you get to one, you can always kind of search to find others as well. I'm just saying, these are just examples to look at. I'm not promoting any of these guys. This is just examples to look at when it comes to chatbots. Drift, for example, they are trying to create a solution that any organization can use to kind of convert visitors that land onto the website. I think they've got voice as well as chat and conversation. It's plug and play, and they've got a number of different solutions, but they're just a chatbot as far as I'm concerned, right? Or they're just a customer service AI platform as far as I'm concerned. That's the way I like to think of chatbots, customer service AI solutions, right? Large language models, there's more than just the big four. There's more than just the big four, right? There's lots of other large language models out there, and you can always kind of determine which one is best for you. I think there are free ones, open source ones. There's there's things like Llama. Llama is a really good large language model that people don't even pay attention to when they're trying to hook up the large language model to their UI interface to allow customers to interact with their organization. So it's worth kind of thinking about, oh, okay, I just need a large language model on top of my my data repository, my processes, and my policies and my business rules, and then my customers will be able to know exactly what we need to do, right? But if I need to hook it up to a calendar to book an appointment with this neighborhood officer, oh, that's another function, that's another task that the AI needs to do. Okay, what will be able to do that? That's kind of where we now need to start designing AI use cases so you can start to think, okay, what AI tool do I need for what? Do I need a voice AI tool? Do I need a computer vision AI tool? Do I need a large language model? Do I need predictive analytics? And then I can start to go, okay, I can build an AI solution for the problem that my organization is facing. Okay, remember, you're an analyst first and foremost. You're a business analyst first and foremost. What do we business analysts do? We help solve business problems. Okay, what is the problem the organization is facing? What are the AI solutions to solve that problem? And now we can start to determine, okay, how do we go about writing requirements and mapping out workflows that would include AI? Because it's so overwhelming, because we don't know what all these things do. But now that we know that these are all different things, maybe we can start to be more of a BA in our organization when it comes to solving business problems using AI. So these are just kind of examples, because we just did this exercise. We have definitions. Well, there's a lot of them will do multiple things, but it's just worth kind of knowing, okay, for computer vision, Google Vision is a good one, but there's also Amazon Recognition. There's lots and lots of computer vision tools, OCR tools for documents viewing. A lot of organizations will use a plugin from Google Vision and call it their own. We do that all the time. So it's worth knowing what's out there. Voice AI, these tools, there are lots and lots of voice AI tools, lots and lots of voice AI tools. By the way, all of the big four, Microsoft, Google, like all of those guys, Amazon, AWS, Microsoft, voice tools, voice AI tools, text to speech, speech to text, right? But then if you want to utilize it, then there's other tools out there as well. For example, 11 Labs is an amazing conversational AI tool, right? An amazing conversational AI tool. You can use 11 Labs, slap it on top of an OpenAI large language model, expose your company's documents into it, and all of a sudden, your organization can use a voice agent to start answering queries based on what you tell it to do. You can prompt it in such a way that it will respond perfectly. So there's lots of use cases that can be utilized, that can involve a multitude of these things. Hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay. Oh my God, see the time. The time is fast spent. How you guys doing? Is it making sense?
It has to be a full day to
Enjoying it? Oh yeah. I'll talk about the full sessions shortly. Okay. Another thing, I think Vincent kind of started to touch on this earlier. A lot of people mistake when they're talking about AI, don't make the distinguishing factor between. It's a lot to take in. Yes, it is AI. It's huge. Uh, don't distinguish between an AI assistant and an AI agent. And I think this is really, really important for us as BAs to note. An AI assistant, think of it as a single um, single solution uh, um, use case, single solution application, right? It can do something straightforward. You put in information, you get out information, perfect, right? So, so I've created this to kind of help us distinguish those key differences. So when it comes to the level of autonomy, an AI assistant will respond directly to you based on what you ask it, right? Do this, and it'll do it for you, right? When it comes to things like ChatGPT and Grok, the level of your request, the quality of your request will determine the quality of your output. That's where prompt engineering comes in. I already said to you guys at the beginning, I'm not going to be talking about prompt engineering, right? So we will talk about that in other sessions. So prompt engineering can help you very, very clearly articulate what you want the solution to do for you. And it can give you really good quality responses, and you can kind of keep refining your prompt till you get something you want. But that's really good, right? It does what you tell it to do. Now, an AI agent can go further. It can act independently of you asking it to do something. So an AI agent can do um, a bit of a recurring activity. So an AI agent can determine when to produce a report for you. Okay. An AI agent can independently give you something. So you could say, okay, I want you to create this report for me every Monday, every Friday, and every time I get to this level of request. And then it will continually check to see when it will make sense to do it for you. Now, if you add machine learning to it, it will start to understand your patterns. Oh, John wants this report when queries get to this level, or when I get more than this level of request, or when this has happened. Okay, based on what he's done so far, I think I should give it to him on this other day. And then you can start to kind of get AI working independently of you prompting it. That's the next level. We're in the world, the era of AI agents, agentic workflows, where the AI is doing things without you explicitly asking it to do it. Because it knows what you want, it will determine what to give you, when to give it to you, right? When it comes to decision making, assistance, it's about what you tell it based on your instructions. If you don't tell it to do something, it ain't going to do it. But AI agents can adapt, right? It can make decisions on its own. It's beginning to have reasoning capability, and it can begin to kind of determine what it needs to do when it needs to do it. So decision making, AI agents can do it, right? We're getting to the world of, I don't want to scare you guys, the difference between um, general AI, general intelligence, and super intelligence, right? Where the AI is actually making big decisions by itself. It can decide, do you know what? You guys have been messing up. I'm going to delete this whole thing for you, right? Maybe you guys have been killing each other too much. Maybe we need to wipe out this. I'm just kidding. All right, let's not get too. But agentic workflow is leading us towards super intelligence, right? So we are not there yet, but we're getting damn close, because at this point, AI can begin to make decisions. Now, when it comes to tool interaction, AI assistance literally is one tool, right? It uses built-in features to answer a question. Okay, one tool that you're interacting with. With AI agents, you're integrating multiple tools. You will have maybe a cursor as a browser tool that will go in to do your code writing, that will create your database, that will write your email, call your customer, and book your appointment. Utilizing multiple tools to do something totally independently. Now, that's kind of where you, as an agent, want to be able to kind of start to define, okay, what are the tools that I need this agent to work with? You want to feed the agents with tools, and using APIs and so on, you can kind of hook them all together in a way that they can talk to each other and then give you the response that you need. The tool interaction bit is, I think, if you take nothing away from today, take that bit. Now, with tools like N10, you, as an AI agent, can create a workflow that says, I want the AI to use this interface, connect to this large language model, use this appointment booking tool, connect to this URL, send this email, give it access to my database, give it access to my payment key, and collect. You can do that now yourself. That's where you, as an agent, need to start thinking. Tools like True can orchestrate what AI tools can now do. Somebody had their hands raised. I missed it.
Look, that was me. I have
Oh, okay.
a very funny way to describe these AI agents and AI assistants. I there was an illustration, like, in Nigeria, there is this culture, because it's cheap to get house help,
Okay.
right? So if you
A lot of
if you
people don't know what you're talking about. There are lots of non-Nigerians.
oh, not Nigerians,
Yeah,
okay.
there are people from
Get
Canada
help,
here.
someone that helps you to do something in the house, maybe clean the house, cut the grass,
Yeah.
and everything. Now, that person is an assistant if you tell them what to do before they do it. Go ahead and cut the grass, and they go to do it. Go ahead and do this. You are still part of the whole thing, telling them what they
Yeah.
should do. But now, it now becomes an agent when you, like, okay, I leave the house to you, just make sure that everything is good. So they
So
know
you
when to
decide.
clean, when to cut the grass. They do everything without you actually categorically telling them to do it or when to do it. Yeah.
But you have to give them a goal, right? So
Yes.
with the agent, the same thing. Give them a
Yeah.
goal. The agent needs to know what you're trying to achieve. Otherwise, well, you're going to do things that you don't want it to do, right?
Yeah.
So when it comes to AI, parameters and the guardrails is super important,
So important.
especially when you're dealing with regulatory stuff. You're working in a bank, right? You don't want it to be doing things that you shouldn't be doing. If you're working in healthcare, you don't want it to be going outside the boundaries that you give it. So when it comes to ethics in AI, it's also really important to note as well, because now the AI is getting super powerful, super intelligent, super, efficient. It can start doing things that you didn't ask it to do, you didn't want it to do. So putting in the guardrails is also key. Marjorie,
Yeah.
you have a question?
What are the chances that the AI will ignore the guardrails and go off?
Yes, it can. Yes, it can. It's getting to the point with super intelligence that it might ignore your guardrails because it thinks it will help achieve your goal. Now, that's why you've got to absolutely be in control. You have to have risks and mitigating actions. Risks and mitigating actions. So some of the things that we're doing right now, we've got things like, okay, if the person that you're talking, if the person that the AI is talking to shows signs of suicidal intent or homicidal intent, we call 911, right? If they show signs of depression, we tell them to call 911. So we need to figure out all those. It's kind of like writing user stories and acceptance criteria, and for testers in the room, writing your test cases. You think of all the scenarios. You're doing the same thing here, right? When you're implementing AI, you got to think of all those things as well. Because
But
if you don't tell it, there's a risk. So you've got to understand the risks as well.
but
So yeah,
later
Tolua,
the
question?
All
Sorry,
right.
go on.
I'll
Yes,
say now,
thanks. I was
manipulate.
gonna I do
Sorry,
want to
one
know.
second, Tolua. One
Oh,
second,
right,
Tolua.
sorry.
Marjorie, did you finish asking your question?
I said that. So it can be also, even though it doesn't go out of the guardrails, can it
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
be creative in a sense?
And what?
Can it be manipulative to try to
Yes,
manipulate
yes,
without going
yes.
out?
Because it's like saying, okay, I've got cybersecurity, but can I be hacked? Of course, right? It's like any computer system, and you as an organization need to factor those risks in as well. I think it's still early days, and I think there'll be more regulations that come in time. But yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Sorry,
Thank
Tolua. Question? You're welcome.
Yes, I would like to know what kind of competence or skills would I have to develop in order to train an AI agent for my business area,
Okay.
considering the
So
peculiarities within
yeah.
my business area. Say, for example, vulnerability,
Yep.
financial assistance,
Yep.
accessibility, all the
Yep.
things are important
Yep.
as
Cool.
guardrails, or maybe or slightly extending beyond that. So, as a
Yep.
business analyst, how how developed do I have to be
Yep.
in terms of what I
Good.
should be able to give the AI agent in order for it
Good
to give
question.
my business area what we need without it?
Okay.
You get my question.
Yeah, good question. And I will answer your question if you join my 5-day class because we'll go into writing AI requirements. Because it's for
Oh,
you as an analyst, you want to write the requirements, you want to determine the guardrails, you want to write the business rules, and then the machine learning engineer, if you're using predictive analytics, or your prompt engineer, or your developer, whoever is feeding, whoever is exposing the LLM to whoever is doing the techie work can then know what scenarios, what guardrails to give it, what prompts to give it, and so on and so forth. But you need to tell them. You need to write the requirements. You need to write the scenarios. You need to say, okay, if this happens, do this. If this happens, do this. So when it comes to writing AI requirements, all the skills that you already have, don't throw it away just because it's AI. You still have to do the work. You still have to work with your development team. You still have to write the requirements. You still have to write the use cases. You still have to write the acceptance criteria. You still have to write the business rules. And you now need to start thinking about the risks and all of those guardrails that you need to give it, right?
I get
And
that. I
yeah,
get that.
yep,
That's doing what I currently do. But what would I have to
yes.
know? Okay, so you mentioned your 5-day training. What else would I have to know in order to be able to connect, with the AI agent and speak in the language, or would leave that to the dev team to be able to do? But I guess
Uh,
I need to
I,
know who I will
yeah.
be
So
working with.
yeah, so depending on what you're building, depending on your use case. So if you're building I don't know, let me say voice chat, voice customer service for a real estate company. Okay. Yeah, we can teach you how to prompt the voice AI. We can teach you how to put in the guardrails. We can do that. My co-founder, AK, he does that for us all the time. We can do that part. But if you are saying, um, make sure that if this happens, and you look at this document and you need to now go into a different tool and you need to now write some predictive analytics algorithms, you need a machine learning engineer and an AI engineer for that, then you need to tell them what they need to do, depending on your use case. Depending on your use case will determine what you can do without the help of a techie and what the techies ML engineer, by the way, remember I mentioned earlier, machine learning engineers have existed for a very long time. Training base models and training data in ML tools, that's itself its own job. And I mean, if you're not a machine learning engineer at the moment, I wouldn't recommend that you go do that. You can employ somebody for that part. So you need to be talking to your machine learning engineer, hook up the pipelines. They need to know what they need to be training the models on. Does that answer your question? At least partly, Tolu.
Yes, it does.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right. So our time is getting fast spent, so I kind of want to speed up real quick. Vincent, did you have a question or a comment.
Yeah, I think it was a comment to what Tolu was getting at as well, because there's also one thing as a BA that you need to be able to do, and that is called AI audit. Meaning that you go into the solution based on the features of the solution that has already been, the requirements that have been gathered, what needs to be developed. You need to do an AI audit, but that needs to be done with the people who are skilled in that area of developing AI solutions as well. And it's just about looking at, for this, let's say you're building a real estate solution, for example. All right, when it comes to a real estate solution that has this feature, this functionality, what AI capabilities can we leverage on for us to make the user experience better, for them to, for example, it could be like you want to automatically generate quotes for the users about a particular area and how much they should be looking at for them to be able to afford that particular property in that particular area. So you need to look at the features that you have and now do an AI audit on what makes sense that can, improve the user experience at the end of the day with AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about, I don't want to introduce a new term, but myself and who was I talking to a couple of days ago, there is a new phrase, a new sort of terminology now. You know how we talk about user experience and user interfaces in traditional software? There's this term called agentic experience, AX. So the difference between UX and AX, how you now need your user interfaces to look when it's hooked up to AI agents. That's a whole different conversation. I'll leave that for now. But yes, there are lots of things to consider as a BA that you kind of need to start to get familiar with when your organization is implementing AI solutions, AI agents in your context. But understanding these key differences kind of will help you kind of know, okay, what do I need to be paying attention to now? When it comes to task complexity, AI assistants handle single, simple tasks. Write me an email, draft me a query, look at this, tell me what this, create this image, create this diagram. That's AI assistant. Whereas with AI agents, it can do multiple things at multiple time intervals. So multi-step workflows, do this research, do this analysis, produce this reports, send this email, and so on. That's agentic workflow, that's AI agents. So a simple example, ChatGPT writes an email for you based on your prompts. ChatGPT gives you an image based on your prompts. ChatGPT produces a report based on your prompts. Whereas you can use tools like Crew or RAG solutions to kind of hook up multiple tools together and do customer data gathering, trend analysis, referrals, suggested actions, and so on. So you can now start to see the capabilities here. Any questions, anyone, regarding the difference between AI assistants and AI agents and where you need to start to shift your focus on? Okay, so intended I intended on giving you guys an exercise to do this, okay? But I'm just going to walk through it because of time and then use it as a way to make you think about the kind of stuff you should be doing as a BA. One of the things that I always suggest is, as a BA, you want to be able to develop a UI use case. You want to be able to develop a UI use case. And with us as BAs, the very first thing we always want to know is, what is the business problem we're trying to solve? What is the business problem we're trying to solve? So you want to be able to pick a business problem within your relevant work area, whatever that might be, right? And then determine, ooh, and then determine the AI solution, and then determine the AI solution to solve that problem, right? Always think in agentic workflows rather than just simple. I mean, sometimes it might just be an AI assistant that can solve a business problem. Perfect. Oh, All the requirements are simple example. All the requirements are unclear, right, for developers. Okay, use Copilot to do that. That's an easy one. Implement Copilot, use Copilot to write your requirements, make it nice and clear, easy. I'm sure you already do that, and your organization is already doing that. Okay, AI assistant for a specific task. Okay, so those are very simple, straightforward things to be able to do. Okay, so define the problem, identify the solution, find a tool that can solve that problem. And then for you as an analyst, it's about business impact and benefits. What is going to be the result of what we've done? Better customer service, time saved, reduce cost, increase revenue. You want to be able to tie everything back to business benefits and identify the risks and challenges that you might face when you're thinking about the solutions that you're trying to implement. So here are 3 simple examples, and I want you to take this as homework. Identify a business problem in your organization, identify an AI solution, identify the benefits, and then identify some challenges. So here are a couple of examples. Example 1, the problem is that manually analyzing customer feedback from surveys take about 10 hours per week and delays insights. Okay, AI solution, use natural language processing and Google Cloud natural language to summarize feedback and identify sentiments, i.e., I want to be able to see all the positive comments and all the negative comments, and I want to be able to get a report at the end of it. Great. Benefits will save 8 hours per week by automating the analysis, faster insight, better customer service, and so on. Okay. Now, the challenges: privacy for data privacy, training the team to be able to interpret AI generated insights. Now, these tools, i.e., Google Cloud natural language, can help do that. You've got to go do some research into, what's the capability of that tool? Do I need to expose it to a user interface? Do I need to give it to them in a dashboard? Do I need to feed it into something else so that it can be useful and easily consumed by my audience? So all the things that you would normally do as a BA, you still need to do. Okay, so that's just one example. Another one, project risk forecasting. Predicting the project risks, for example, delays, budget overrun, relies on manual guesswork and is not often accurate. AI solution, let's use predictive analytics in a RapidMiner or SageMaker to analyze historical project data and forecast risks. We can improve it by 20%, save time, save cost. The trouble you might find is accessing clean data, right? You might need to do some data gathering. What are all of the project timelines that we missed? And provide that data in a nice, clean way to your machine learning engineer. They'll load it into RapidMiner, SageMaker, whatever machine learning tool, Microsoft's machine learning tool, to do the predictive analytics and forecast for you, and then provide good quality data for you. So that's another use case. Another use case, problem: manually reviewing and summarizing lengthy supply contracts takes 12 hours per week, delaying negotiations and increasing errors. Okay, AI solution. Let's use a Google Vision, right, to look at contracts, because some of them might be handwritten, right? And then feed that into OpenAI to give us a key summary. Benefits: reduce the time from 12 hours to 3 hours. Challenges: it might be difficult to get all of the handwritten. Some people write really poorly, but computer vision would do its very best to give you good quality data. Again, these are just examples of AI use cases. Based on what we've talked about today, we want to be able to start thinking, okay, what are the problems we're facing? What are the AI solutions that we could potentially bring to bear? What are the benefits? What are the challenges? How does that sound to you guys?
Sounds like we need that training. Could
Good.
you please share the details? Let's see, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so here is what I've got in store. I have a 5-day AI a business analysis training that I am looking to start in a couple of weeks. It's going to be evenings. It's going to be 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. UK time. For you guys in Canada and America, that's going to be in the middle of the afternoon. I'm most probably going to be in America when I'm doing this, so it's fine. It'll be in the middle of the afternoon. And the idea is for us to be able to create stuff independently, write AI requirements, understand how our role plays into the world of digital transformation. Look at tools that you can use, apply those tools efficiently. We will talk about prompt engineering because it's really, really important that your prompts are good. If you're prompting voice AI, you need to understand how to write prompts that are good. So the way I kind of look at it is I use a chain of thought style, right? This is what I'll be teaching you. I use a chain of thought, okay? This step, then this step, then this step. And then I do it in a tree way. I put in my thoughts into ChatGPT, Grok, and Claude. I compare those outputs and I say, write me a prompt that can give me this output, right? And then I refine that prompt and I say, give me guardrails because of these issues. And then I rewrite that prompt. If you just kind of do it as a simple task in ChatGPT, you're going to miss a lot of stuff. Like it ain't even going to work. I've tried it before, it doesn't work. So there are ways to do prompt engineering to give you the outputs that you need in for the solution that you're trying to build. We'll look at a couple of automation tools. I'm going to focus on NA10. I'm not going to be the one teaching you this. It's going to be AK teaching you this because he does it all the time. We're going to use voice as well. I'm not going to be the one teaching you voice. It's going to be AK teaching you voice because he builds voice agents all the time. But I'll do a lot of the work of teaching what we do, especially when it comes to writing requirements for business analysis, writing those scenarios, writing those acceptance criteria, and utilizing tools effectively, right? So we'll look at mapping workflows. It's the same way you would do your process mapping, but you're focused more on what the agent is doing, what the AI agent is doing. So we'll kind of use a lot of business analysis, a lot of tools we already have in our toolkit, but translate it into work for AI solutions, right? And at the end of the day, the output is for you to be able to build AI agents independently, and for enterprise, have a really good, clear understanding of how to write AI requirements for enterprise AI solutions. So you're not just relying on, ChatGPT and Copilot for everything, right? You have a much deeper understanding, much deeper breadth. You'll be creating AI workflows, you'll be writing AI requirements, and building AI agents by the end of the week. So that's what I am offering you. It's going to be intensive. It's going to be pragmatic. It's going to be quite in-depth, but not theory. I'm not going to do a lot of theory. You can read. I have a lot of resources for you to read. I've got the UK government playbook. Read that ahead of the class. Microsoft AI playbook, Google AI playbook, IBM guide to AI agents. Read as much as you can before, because when we get into class, it's about creating stuff. Okay. So the course is going to be priced at $699, but if you're registering today, down to $299. After today, regardless of which dates you go for, it's going to be $699. So that's the payment link. You can do that if you're doing it today. Otherwise, drop me an email to say I will rather pay later and I want to sign up to the 11th August class, or I can't make the 11th August class. I'll rather do the 8th September class. Measuring question.
I'm just looking at the timing, the
Yes.
30 start. That is what I'll find a bit
You should be
tricky.
finished by work. What
No,
time do you finish work?
but I'll be, because I'm I'm in the office on 3 days a week. So by the time I get
The
home,
travel.
it's the travel. That's the thing. So
Okay.
don't know how I'm going to, if I'm going on, how I'm going to manage it, because I might miss maybe the start of
Okay.
it versus, yeah, that's the,
Yeah. You can work that out. I would say, if you were to ask me, I'll say those days work from home if you can, or defer your work in the office time if you can. Otherwise, you can join the early part whilst you're in transit, and hopefully you get them in time to be able to log on. The classes will be recorded, so you'll be able to pick up anything you've missed. And you can join either one. You can join either the August class or the September class. So happy for you to do either of those. We'll be flexible as well, not a problem.
okay.
Yeah. Hi, Susanna.
Hi, Tolu. I want to say this session has been so very useful, because I think for me, for a long time, there's been a veil over my eyes that says, oh, AI, that's just like, that's not what I need. But
Yeah.
coming from sort of like a compliance, risk, and
Yes.
governance sort of background, I
Yep.
realized that actually it's exactly what I need to understand. My key question is, what if you work within sort of government organizations where
Yeah. Perfect.
there's a lot of restrictions? I know,
Yep.
because the number of tools that we could not use because of data restrictions,
Yes.
etc. Um,
Absolutely.
how tailorable, or how relevant would it be for someone like myself, that
So
the tool that one is exposed to is quite
yeah,
restricted?
yeah. So the reason I decided to do this is to be able to serve the people that are trying to do this independently. So if you're building a startup, for
Okay.
example, you can do it
Yeah.
yourself. And for you guys that are working in enterprise, that where you have
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
ecosystem and tools that you can and cannot use. That's why I mentioned IBM Watson. That's why I mentioned AI ecosystem. There are a lot of tools in there. Some of the stuff that we're doing is in healthcare. We're regulated. We can't just use
Yeah.
anything. We started using anything, but we moved it into the SDK
Mhm.
within GCP, within the Google Cloud Health, that's HIPAA
Yes. Yeah.
compliance that we're using. So there are tools out there that are already in your ecosystem. You just don't know about it. There are lots of
Absolutely.
tools.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
hook up the workflow inside Microsoft, inside
Mhm.
GCP, without having to go export, without having external APIs. And even when you do, you can make sure that you tell the developers this has got to be compliant. Make sure there are no data leaks and whatever it is that you need to tell them. So yes, it very, very much applies to you as well. And there is this government playbook that I recommend anybody working in the government to read ahead of time. It's a really chunky document, but it kind of tells you where the government is going, what you can and cannot do, what the principles are that they've laid out. And you will realize that actually they're encouraging you to do more of these things, not restricting you from doing it. So absolutely. So that's one of the documents that I've got here for you. So download it, have a look, and understand what your guardrails should be. Hi, Yemi. Question?
Hi, Tolu. Good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for this
Good morning.
session.
Good
It's
morning.
been a great delivery. So I just wanted to add to your comment on,
Yes.
the following restrictions within organizations. In my own
Mhm.
experience, what I've discovered is organizations now have just the same way you've got intranet, just with ordinary internet, you've got intranet, which are, organizational information within, a guided area that is very secure and tunneled, and
Mhm.
which cannot be exposed to the external organization. So it's the same thing that is being done with AI, okay, where you have organizations now building tools, okay, that are
Mhm.
specific to serving the organization, and for which you will have to obey certain rules and regulations, policies,
Mhm.
okay, for usage, and that's what I just wanted to add. So it's already
Yeah.
happening. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Okay. Adeda asked, will I email this? Yeah, please. If you drop me your email address, I know if you got the invite. I have your email address. If you just click the link from wherever, I might not have your email address. So drop me your email address and I'll email it to you as well. Daisy, please drop me your email address. I'm not sure if I have it, and then I'll email it to you. Okay. Who else had a question? Who else had a question?
Not necessarily a question, but
Yes,
just, I
sir.
mean, you're looking at the time zone. I mean, it looks like you've kind of priced us out of the course, except we're going to catch up with,
No, no, it doesn't.
they're
No, it
going to, I
doesn't.
mean,
So if you in the EST zone,
yeah.
right, a time zone, because I know a few of you guys are on EST. I'm going to be on the EST in the States anyway. I can have a separate date for EST. It's not going to be a time that's going to be convenient for the UK guys, but will it be better 5:30 p.m. EST? Will that work for you? Or are you better 9 a.m. EST, which will be more like, afternoon in the UK? What are you thinking?
So 9 EST will be work hour, right? Working remotely or working at the office, that will not work. But 5:30 EST will just do it for us. Yeah.
Yeah. So I can, if you are, if there's a couple of you guys that are gonna do EST time zone, I'll be in the EST time zone. I can have another set of dates for EST. Not a problem at all. Is anybody here in US East Coast time zone? If you are and you prefer one for your time zone, I'm happy to do that. And that's purely because that's going to be my time zone as well. This time zone, it's going to be, it's bang in the middle of the afternoon in US, which is fine for me, but might not be fine for you. So if you want a EST date, I will be happy to set a date for EST.
Yeah.
It'll be later in
Yes.
August. It'll probably be the week after this one.
Okay. So I'll keep in touch with that just in case you have a couple
Yep.
of guys not interested. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Otherwise, if you have any other questions about this, please drop me a email, drop me a message. Does everybody have my phone number?
No.
Okay. So my email is in the chat and my phone number is also in the chat. So drop me a message, drop me a WhatsApp, drop me a text, send me your email if you want me to email the link and this document to you. And yeah, I would love to see as many of you in class as possible. In terms of the sessions, it'll be myself and AK. I might bring an ML engineer if there are lots of questions about machine learning, engineering, and creating machine learning and training machine learning models. We will talk about it, but it's a separate professional together. But you want to know enough to be able to talk with your ML engineers if you're working in enterprise, doing predictive analytics stuff. But otherwise, it'll be myself. Teaching a lot of modules. AK will teach the voice agents module. It will teach the creating agents module using NA10 and other tools. Also, we might go into GCP and kind of show how you can create workflows and agents within particular enterprise ecosystem without having to write any code. Sorry, did somebody have, Marjorie, did you have a question?
No, so I think I'll just have to balance maybe showing up a bit late just for the timing. So if it's recorded,
Yes.
fine. So
Yes. Yeah, of course it'll be recorded, of course.
All right.
All right. Any questions from anyone? Okay. If there are no other questions, ladies, gentlemen, It's been fun hanging out with you this morning. Enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, and hopefully see you again in class. And have a good weekend. Bye,
Thank you
y'all.
so much. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Tolu.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Tolu.
Take care.
Thank you so
Bye bye.
much.
Thank you, Tolu. Bye.
Bye.
Hello.
Welcome.
Bye.
Thanks, Tolu.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll send you a
Welcome.
message. Thank you.
Thanks, Tolu. Bye.
Tolu, sorry, did you say that you're going to put this
Yes.
on our platform? The link on our platform?
No, I didn't say that. Do you want me to? I can do.
Please do. Yes, please, because I'm still a bit busy. Just place the link on up for
Okay.
those that joined, please. Thank you so much.
All right. I'll do
I'll
that.
sign up. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thanks so much. Hi, Edward. Hi, Vincent. Was that useful? Yes,
Hey,
good.
Tolu, yeah, I had to leave the house to go pick my daughter, but yeah,